people don't give a shit.
He's giving them the business.
All the Americans out on the field. He's putting one in the end zone. He got it.
Goes Davis. Oh my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back. He's going to win the football.
It's going to be to the goal line. It's going to be gone. It's a touchdown. And the Gators have won it again.
50 to the 40. Herman Whitfield to the 30. To the 20. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown FSU.
Yeah, welcome back to another episode of College Football Extravaganza, this time on the Swamp Creatures Network. It's our debut here. Thank the Swampcast crew and the Swamp Network for having us on. We're also streaming back on the Higher Frequency Podcast Network, so give us a like and subscribe also. And we'll get the technical difficulties worked out later. I had to not stream to one of our outlets instead because I had to add them. So we'll get that all figured out. But we're on the YouTube and the Facebook, so that's good enough. We got enough people. Davis and I are back with you for the second episode this week, making up for lost time what we did on Tuesday. Now we're here to talk about the bowl games, the college football playoff, coaching changes, and the transfer portal. Davis, how are you doing? Thanks for joining us today. I know you had some difficulties with Cox Cable.
Yeah, what the hell, Cox? Knocking out people's internet all throughout the area. But we're here. I'm on my phone. In fact, I think the internet may be back up, but I'm on my phone, so fuck it. Here we go. So, doing 2 shows this week to make up for the past 2 weeks where we didn't do any shows. And we have some bowl games that we need to talk about. But more importantly, we have some transfers we need to talk about. So let's get into that here in just a moment.
Yeah, so if you're new to the podcast, we're a Florida-based podcast. Davis got his Gator shirt on. You can see all my Gator stuff in the back with some books. But Emory Jones planning to transfer at least after the bowl game. So we're saying he's going to play in the bowl game, and then that's going to be his last hurrah as a Florida Gator. At least that's what the plan is right now. How do we feel about this? Anthony Richardson also not playing in the bowl game because he's undergoing surgery, and he's likely to return as a Florida Gator next year. From what I've been looking at and paying attention to. Well,
what it's looking like to me is at some point someone told Emory, look, Anthony's going to be the starter. Anthony Richardson's going to be the starter moving forward. You can stay or you can go try and be a starter somewhere else. And in today's college football environment where it's so easy to be able to transfer and often without having to sit, and by the way, I'm pretty sure that Emory Jones has graduated from Florida or he's about to graduate. So he can just transfer somewhere else and go play immediately. I think that's what he's going to do. And coming up to this bowl game where they say he's still expected to be at the bowl game, I guess he'd play. Because who else would you play? They've only played 2 quarterbacks all throughout the year. You have John Kitna's son that you could put in there. And
is supposedly a beast too, but he's a redshirt freshman.
Yeah, he's a freshman, a guy that we could possibly see out there, maybe. Who knows? But for right now, I think the future's bright with Anthony Richardson. They need to go ahead and look forward to that because with Emory, it's just riddled with inconsistencies. The things I liked about Emory, though, were I felt that he was very patient. He was not afraid to wait a little bit for a guy to get open, but that also was a bad thing for him. But he also knew when to run, and he was a good runner. I felt that he read defenses well while running. He just didn't read them well while passing. And when you rack up the turnovers that he did passing the ball, that's not going to become a winning product, clearly. But he ran the ball well. I do think there are other programs out there that could benefit with his talent. I think he's going to leave the SEC, though. My prediction is he will leave the SEC, and I also wouldn't be too surprised if he went to a non-Power 5 school.
So Justin, who we've had on the show 2 times if you count the ESPN radio appearance, which was awesome. Justin, he's one of the co-hosts for what is the show called? It used to be your
Sports
show.
Call.
Sports Call, yeah, Sports Call and ESPN Radio. He's been on the show a few times. Sent you over a list of potential places. where
Yeah, let me find his list real quick. Can you guys still hear me since I'm on my phone?
Yeah, I can still hear you, and I'll go ahead and mention one of them that we were talking about before the show while you find it. You mentioned Miami might be a potential landing spot with Mario Cristobal, and I think that would be a good spot for Emory just because of the spread offense. It's a good fit. So I don't know if Justin was like if that's what made him think he might be a good fit at Miami, or if he's just if he's got a lead or something like that. I don't know. He works for ESPN, so he might. But I think that would be a good fit. I want to hear what the other fits are. And with that, I mean, Florida has a bad history of letting go good quarterbacks. If we're talking about Will Greer, we're talking about Cam Newton back in 07. I mean, it was Cam's fault, and I don't think it was Will Greer's fault. I think it was McElwain's fault. But do you think this could be kind of a diamond in the rough that needed to be polished a little bit more? Or is it time to let him go? I think it's time to let him go personally. But I just don't want a Brock Berlin situation where Miami beats us 2 times in the next 2 years in a bowl game and in a scheduled game.
You know, I think that it was time to let Emory go. I think he was better off somewhere else. Now, keep in mind, he's from Georgia. He's from LaGrange. And would he possibly look into going to a different Georgia school? Not the University of Georgia. They're pretty – I think their future is looking pretty bright with the quarterbacks they already have. Maybe Georgia Tech, maybe somewhere in Alabama. But here's what Justin shared. Mizzou, I could see that. Although I think they just signed a really good – I think they signed like a top quarterback prospect recently, like at least a top 5. Indiana, not a horrible idea. Iowa State and Utah. Utah, I think, would make a lot of sense. They run the spread. They have had a lot of success with quarterbacks like Emory Jones, guys who are pretty good at running the ball but have a decent arm. They've had a lot of success. Utah, I think, would be a pretty good fit for Emory Jones. If I could throw out just off the top of my head, just blurting out a couple of teams that come to mind that I could possibly see him going to, I think a school like UCF is a possibility. South Florida, and I'm thinking non-Power 5. Let's see what else. Georgia Southern.
Bong hits for Cthulhu says, "Man, almost made me throw up mentioning Indiana." Yep. I mean, at least he wouldn't be playing in the SEC against us, right? Or like even potentially playing Florida, maybe in a bowl game. But
yeah,
yep. Great name, by the way. That's hilarious.
Bong hits for Cthulhu.
Yeah, I know who it is, but I'm not gonna divulge that information. Joey Ferguson also joining us. Thanks, Joey. If you watch the Swamp Creatures podcast, he's always on the Swamp Creatures podcast. Oh, Joey just typed in the chat. Send him to Willie Taggart. Oh man, no.
FAU.
I mean, he's staying in Florida, I guess, not too far away.
Dude, I think Emory. He will stay D1. I think his talent right now, based on what we saw at Florida, is probably best suited for like a decent non-Power 5 school. Or if he were to go to a Power 5 school, it'd probably be a school like, North Carolina. That might be pretty interesting. North Carolina State, Virginia Tech.
So basically, the world's his oyster at this point. Is that what you're saying? He could go in a number of places. We don't know yet. We're just kind of speculating.
No, I think there are a lot of schools out there that want him, but it's certainly not like really strong Power 5 schools that are expected to compete for championships every year.
He's got to develop his arm and his ability to read secondaries and read the I think. I take that back. I think he can read the defense. I think he's the timing. It was always an issue. Like he had guys open, he would always throw it maybe a tad too late. And
it takes him forever to throw the football. Like just him dropping back and looking, and then by the time he throws the football, it feels like 8 seconds just went by.
Yep. Speaking of quarterbacks entering the transfer portal, we also have Spencer Rattler from OU. We all know that happened. Caleb Williams stole the show in the Texas game and pretty much ran with it the rest of the season. Spencer Rattler, it's looking like he's going to South Carolina. Is that confirmed, or is it just?
He confirmed it on his social media.
Confirmed it. So Shane Beamer doing good things in South Carolina. If he can develop Spencer Rattler and get this guy back to what we hoped he would have been before the season, that's going to be a dangerous South Carolina team next year. I'd be worried about them. They're in the SEC East, so Florida's going to have to play Spencer Rattler. It's going to happen. I'm kind of excited about it, though.
I'm excited too. I figured Spencer Rattler was going to go to the SEC. My other guess was going to be Pac-12 because he's from Arizona. Like maybe he'd go to Arizona State or something like that, or maybe UCLA. But which, by the way, we'll be bringing up UCLA here in a moment. But him going to South Carolina, I think that South Carolina has some upside, like a lot of upside. Shane Beamer has done a really good job with that program in his first year alone. And my understanding is the locker room loves him. The players love their coach. That to me is always a recipe for success. If the players can get along, with the coach, you can build a camaraderie, you can build a successful football team. And now you're adding a really good quarterback in the mix. And they need a quarterback. They really need a quarterback. They bounced through a lot of quarterbacks last year, and they still won some ball games. I like this fit. I think he's going to start immediately. And, I think you're looking at least 8 wins, possibly more for South Carolina. So this is a really good grab for them.
Yeah, no, really good grab. And I second what you said about the coach, Shane Beamer. I think their locker room does love him. Unlike Urban Meyer, which we don't have to talk about. Apparently he told Josh Lambo, who's the kicker for Jacksonville, he said, fucking kick, dipshit, or something along those lines.
Or make your kicks.
Make your kicks or something and just kick. Urban Meyer, there's stories, even if you want to talk about South Carolina, Steven Garcia went on record. It was during an ESPN interview or maybe a CBS interview saying that Urban brought him back when he was recruiting him. And he was like, quit fucking around. Just commit to us. Steven Garcia went on to beat Florida 2 or 3 times in his South Carolina Gamecock career, by the way. So Urban Meyer,
but he eventually got kicked off the team after he had like 9 suspensions.
Yeah, what kind of year is Urban having? He's got caught touching some butts in a bar, maybe even a little bit more than touching butts. We don't know, but he's doing this. He's not going to be there.
Started with him at the bar with a girl. The way I love how they report it. Girl was dancing really close to his lap. Like that's just how they keep reporting it. It's so funny every time they do it, dude. She was giving him a lap dance, okay? She was giving him a lap dance, or she was grinding on him while the song was being played. His hands were very close to her.
Yeah, he was finger popping her butthole or something like that.
There was that. Before that, like he hired a coach that has like a racial background, like a fairly racist background, is my understanding. That guy resigned. Then the butt incident. And then, he just wasn't winning football games. He wasn't listening to his star quarterback or his franchise quarterback when his quarterback says, hey, we need the best talent on the field, and James Robinson is the best talent on the field, and James Robinson never plays. And then he says, well, it's not on me, it's on the assistant coaches. So now he's blaming his assistant coaches and not taking any accountability. He doesn't even know what his players are doing when they're on the field or when they're off the field, because one reporter asked him about a certain player, and he was like, oh yeah, he's getting playing time. And like that player that he was talking about literally took 0 snaps the entire game. And then of course the kicking incident, Marvin Jones storming out of practice and then having to be persuaded to come back. It was a horrible, horrible look for him. And it's not the first time that a successful college coach can't make the same transition to the pros. And in this case, he literally set the bar for how terrible you could be as a pro coach.
Oh, that's a good comment. Can you hear my soundboard? Because I accidentally hit a button just then. Could you hear that?
I did not hear your soundboard now.
If anyone's in the chat, let me know if you hear the soundboard or not. Because That's what we're trying to do. Let's.
I thought this was America. Huh? This is
Oh yeah, I heard that.
Oh yeah,
I thought this was America.
yeah. Y'all hear that one now? Yeah, I turned it up a little bit. Okay. Yeah. Speaking of quarterbacks in the transfer portal again, like you said, we were going to talk about UCLA and Chip Kelly over there. Dylan Gabriel from UCF transferring to UCLA. I think this is a good move. Dylan Gabriel's a talented quarterback. Why do you think why are we transferring? Why do you think we're transferring? Do you think
Well,
doesn't want to start?
Well, okay, so there's a couple of ways I'm looking at this. One is he's a very talented quarterback that can do better than UCF. He's from Hawaii, and no surprise that he wants to be on the West Coast. It looks like Chip Kelly he's staying at UCLA. I know Oregon tried to get him to come back. At least those were the rumors, but he's staying at UCLA. He runs a very high-powered offense. They move quickly, and Dylan Gabriel can move the ball quickly. Now, one thing about the quarterback situation there is I believe they have a quarterback who's returning for his junior year. So, like Dorian Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
So, you're going to have a quarterback competition. I think that Gabriel is a winning quarterback for sure. He puts up numbers like crazy. And like a lot of quarterbacks, he got hurt. He probably would have regained his job if he stayed at UCF, but he looked at this as an opportunity to hit the refresh button. And he can play immediately. He only played like 2 games this year. My understanding is that he should be able to play like immediately getting to UCLA. So, good pick for him. I'm curious if it'll work out. I'm not as like hyped on it as I was with Spencer Rattler. Mm-hmm. But you know what? Good luck to him.
I'm pretty hyped about it. I think it's a good fit. I think Gabriel's got a better arm than Thompson does. Dorian Thompson. I think that's the name. We're gonna go with that.
I'm pretty sure that's his name.
Yeah. So I like Gabriel's arm, and he's got stuff. He's got magical stuff he could do with his legs. I think that's the Chip Kelly prototype, right? That's what he wanted. That's what he had back at Oregon, back whenever he was in his glory days of college football, I think. And UCLA was looking good early in the season. Later in the season, kind of sputtered out. Lost a couple games they shouldn't have lost to Stanford and different teams, but it is what it is.
That's been the Pac-12 for you, though.
Let me make sure
you have teams that come off really good. They look good. There's promise, and then they just fall apart at the worst, most random time. So, the Big 12, they all do the same thing every year.
They beat Stanford.
Can't bet on them.
They beat Stanford. I'm going to correct myself there. They lost to Fresno State. That was the game they should have won, but Fresno State was also good early in the season, and we didn't know how good LSU was. They ended up beating LSU. They lost a couple games they shouldn't have lost, and they lost to a good Utah team too. I think they're going to be pretty good next year, and with Dylan Gabriel at the helm, I think they'll be a little bit better than they were last year, at least. And thank you, Mr. Bong Hits for Cthulhu for the for the sound check in the chat. All right, one more quarterback we thought was transferring. He's going to stay at LSU with Brian Kelly, Miles Brennan, Max Johnson going to transfer. I'm more interested to see where Max Johnson's going to go, and if he follows his daddy's footsteps and goes to FSU, that would be pretty cool. I would be excited for that, even as a Florida fan. But who knows? Who knows where he's going to go? What do you have any thoughts on Max Johnson? I think he's a hell of a quarterback.
Yeah, you know what? Another surprise transfer for me. Another surprise transfer that he decided to leave LSU, because that's a lot. That's a lot of quarterbacks they keep losing. Florida State, yeah, I think that they're going to ride with Jordan Travis. I think that he's won that job. I think he's secured that job right now. But, if he goes to Florida State, that's not a surprise. I do think there's another Division I, like a good Division I program out there that would want him. Florida State would, in a way, make sense. I just think that the quarterback position is held down by Jordan Travis. So, I don't really know where he's going to go.
FSU
Frankly,
Joey.
I have no clue where he's going to go.
FSU Joey, as not to be confused with our FSU Joey, says JT's the man. So, I like Jordan Travis too. He's good. It's just, can he stay healthy? That's the only thing.
Yeah.
We do need a backup.
And Joey says, we need a backup to JT in case he gets hurt. Yeah, but Max Johnson's not going to transfer somewhere to be the backup. I think he's going to try and go somewhere where he believes, like wholeheartedly, he has the opportunity to be a starter. So I just don't know if Florida State's going to be that destination. Shit, he may transfer.
He could go to Kentucky, yeah. All right.
Kentucky,
yeah. Yep, that's all I'm going to cover on the transfer portal for today. I think we spent a good amount of time on it. So be looking for these quarterbacks on these new teams next year. So next, we're going to go to a video clip. If you watched the Tuesday show, you would have seen us talking about this and heard us talking about this, but I want to go to the actual video. I don't want to play too much of it. Let's see. I'm trying to get it right. So this is the Travis Hunter, Jacksonville State pick from yesterday. So
Jackson State.
Jackson State. I always get those mixed up, but you can see it. Yep. Let's see. Let's get the sound on. Oh, that's super loud. We're gonna not.
That the officers' interaction with the teams had the possibility.
There we go. So he puts on the Florida State hat. Everyone thinks he's going there. We just had reports earlier. Look at how he caught the hat. That's how he's going to be catching the ball for Jackson State. Yeah, this is huge for HBCUs, and maybe even a trend-setting moment for HBCUs. But I don't know. It could just be Dion Sanders. It's one of those things where we'll have to wait and see if he goes this direction and more top recruits start going this direction. Is it a new trend? It could be, and then you're gonna have to get used to seeing new logos at the top of these recruiting classes. I'm looking forward to watching him play. He's the number one recruit in the nation. He plays both sides, offense and defense. I wonder if they'll let him do that. But it's something to be said about Dion and FSU, right? There's a lot of FSU fans who were salty about it, and I know we both wanted to talk about this. This was a post I saw on Facebook.
Oh yeah, I saw that too.
You saw this one? So this guy said this is his most prized possession, Dion Sanders, and he hopes they unretire his number because of what he did. This guy is so invested in Florida State football that he doesn't care what Sanders has done in the past, saying he hasn't brought money to. Okay, well, he did what he did at FSU and he did what he did in the pros. That brought people to FSU for sure. So it did bring money to the school in a way. He doesn't have to donate his money to the school. He's already done his part. He didn't get paid while he was playing at FSU, did he? No, he didn't. But this is tragic. This is terrible behavior. I would have taken that jersey. This is a great piece of sports memorabilia to have. Yeah, I know you had something to say about this too, Davis.
Yeah, well, that guy's going to regret burning that jersey here shortly, especially, let's just say Florida State 2 years from now, they want to go big money in investing on a future coach, and they decide, let's go get Dion, right? Come on, man. I think I realistically could see Dion coaching Florida State in the future. So that guy's going to regret that. But also, just to go back to the point of, him managing to get this recruit and bring him into Jackson State, how huge is this for HBCUs, for one, that, a player to that caliber says, you know what, I'm going to pass up the big-time schools like Alabama, Florida State, Auburn, and I'm going to go to Jackson State, where you can win a division or an FCS national championship. You can win an HBU national championship, but then also you can. I know he really wants to invest in himself and for his community, his background, all of that. And I think in terms of the recruitment side of things, on behalf of Dion, This guy, he knows how to talk to his players. He knows what the players want. He knows how to connect with them. And the players love that about him. And they want to go to that. And he's a legend. He's an NFL Hall of Famer. He's an absolute legend. And he connects with the players to a level that a lot of other coaches can't connect with. Like, this guy's going to continue to get really good players and put HBCUs like Jackson State on the map. Now, can that success be sustained in the long run at Jackson State? I think at some point there's going to be another school out there that is like Florida State that has a way bigger budget, and they're going to go for him. And I just have a hard time believing that he's going to say no to that. Now, he doesn't necessarily need money, but if these big-time jobs are calling for you and they're offering big-time money, wouldn't you take it?
Yep. So Joey's in the chat saying Neon Dion plus 1.5 mil. I didn't hear about this until today. I'm looking at it now. It's looking like via Bleacher Report, Dion Sanders is denying that he got Travis Hunter a $1.5 million NIL contract. So he's saying it's not true. He quoted, looks like he did an interview with ESPN about it, saying that's the biggest lie I've ever heard. But who knows? I mean, who knows? He might just not want it to shine. I don't know. He may have not. But he's going to make money anyway. He's probably going to make 1.5 mil in NIH deals anyway.
Yeah,
so
he probably – no, that's just it, though. He probably did get a pretty big NIL deal. Mm-hmm. It just wasn't maybe negotiated by his head coach.
Right. And you got Dion Sanders. He's one of the greatest college football players of all time. And one of the greatest pro players of all time. So he's got some knowledge, and he's like, hey, you can set a trend, you can join me, and I can teach you everything that you need to know. You already got the talent. You just need the professional level knowledge. And I got it more so than Mike Norman. And Dion goes to say, you know what that means is we just kicked your butt. And what we took was ours, and now you got to make an excuse why we beat you. Basically, that's some talk, and he's directing it back at FSU. So I kind of like it. I want to see. I would love to see Joey Clark's face. So I shouldn't use it. I should probably not use his last name. It's live. Look, it's too late.
Well, it's too late. It's out there. But also, like, this guy could have gone anywhere, okay? He could have gone anywhere and gotten a $1.5 million deal. He didn't need to go to Jackson State to go get it. He could have gone to Florida State. He could have gone – literally every school in the nation was offering him. He could have gone anywhere, but he went to Jackson State. So I don't think it was about the money.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. He would have gotten a lot of money at all these other schools. That's a great point. Okay, so enough about that. We did talk about it last show. Let's get to, we could play this holiday music because bowl games always remind me of the holidays. Yeah. So we're just going to go down the line. And I picked these straight up, so I haven't picked them with the spread yet. And a lot of these games, just like anything, so if you get them perfect, I'm pretty sure you get $1 million on the Capital One Bowl Mania, right? Isn't that the deal? And no one ever gets them. It's kind of like filling out your bracket for the men's college basketball playoffs. You're not going to get it right. No one ever gets it right. So people get close.
But it's okay. You still have fun, and you still believe you're the best.
Have you made your pick'ems yet?
Not yet, but we can just go down the line. And I'll make mine later. I don't have my computer up.
So before anything, if you're watching this, like and subscribe to the tags down below, the College Football Extravaganza tags, Higher Frequency Network podcast, and the Swampcast. I don't know if they changed their name on YouTube or Facebook yet, but we're streaming on there right now. It's the Swamp Creatures podcast. I think we're changing it to the Swamp Network, so it might be that. I don't know if we changed it yet. But if you want to join us and you want to say, I'm the best, I know more about college football bowls than these two idiots on College Football Talk Show do, then join our College Football Bowl Mania on your ESPN Fantasy app. Just search College Football Extravaganza. Join. It says max entries 2, but only do 1. I had to do one for my granddad because he is technologically inept. So there it is. We're going to go down here. Bahamas Bowl.
Who cares?
All right. But we're going to call it anyway. It's Toledo minus 7.5 against Middle Tennessee State. 68% of people pick Toledo to win. I'm going Toledo.
I'm going Toledo in this game also. Plus, it's the Bahamas Bowl. I mean, I'd want to go to the Bahamas, so hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Bahamas always a good time. You get to go to Nassau. You get to go to Atlantis. That'd be cool. Northern Illinois and Coastal Carolina face off. The pick is 50-50. Coastal Carolina is minus 8.5 to win the Cure Bowl.
Yeah, I love Coastal. One of my favorite schools now, so give me Coastal.
I'm going Coastal, too. I just love Coastal. Northern Illinois seems like they have a good team this year, but I love the coach over there at Coastal. I love their whole team. Grayson McCall, great quarterback name. Love it. The Boca Raton Bowl here in Florida, Appalachia State, minus 2.5 to beat Western Kentucky. And Appalachia State, coming off a loss in their conference championship game, might have something to prove.
Dude, don't sleep on Western Kentucky by any means. I'm taking them. I know they're the underdog. I'm taking Western Kentucky in the upset.
All right, good. That's one difference we have. I'm taking the Mountaineers. That's cool. All right, Celebration Bowl. We were just talking about you, Dion. Minus 11.5. You're 11-1 on the season, and it's looking like 80% of fans are picking you to win this game against South Carolina State. I gotta pick you too. Yeah.
I mean, hell yeah, dude. Give me Jackson State. This they've never played in this bowl game. They won their first conference championship since 2007. Give me Jackson State.
Nice. All right. New Mexico Bowl. University of Texas El Paso has to travel a little bit. Not too far. Fresno State's making the trip down there. Fresno State, 14.5 point favorites. But only 44% of people are picking them. Maybe they know something we don't know. Maybe someone got hurt. I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea, but I'm going to go ahead and take Fresno State anyways based on the little I know about them because I definitely know nothing about UTEP.
Yep, I'm going to take Fresno State too, but I'm going to circle that one and put an asterisk on it and maybe go back and change it. These are always changeable. It's not set in stone once you pick them.
Not until they play.
Not until they play, so you can always go back and change your picks for the bowl. Independence Bowl, BYU and UAB. This is an odd matchup. You never get to see that. UAB, always love to see them in a bowl game after what their football program has been through historically. They got a really mobile quarterback, though. I don't know if you saw a couple weeks ago. This guy, juked an entire football team. Made it look like they were in high school. It was absolutely insane.
Which team was BYU.
This? I don't know. Not BYU. UAB's quarterback.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I know nothing about UAB. Obviously, if you've listened to this podcast enough, you know that my soon-to-be brother-in-law, he plays for BYU. He's a quarterback. They actually just flew into Shreveport. They're in Shreveport now, him and his wife. So I'm going to go ahead and take BYU. And Rhett, I hope you see the field because hell yeah. But in the meantime, BYU does have a pretty good quarterback in their own. They have a good team in general. I'd take BYU.
Yep, I'm taking BYU too. That's the set. Are you gonna go? Are you gonna go check it out? Since it's
not in Shreveport, man, it's too far.
Too far? Yeah, I got you. Okay, next bowl, Lending Tree Bowl, Eastern Michigan and Liberty. This is near about 50-50. It's 49% picked Eastern Michigan, 51% Liberty. Both teams are 7-5.
Yeah, Liberty. I'm going to go Liberty. I think they had a great start to the year. They unfortunately fell. They fell down towards the end. Malik Willis. You know what? Actually, I don't have confirmation if Malik Willis is going to play or not. Because he is right now projected to be a first-round pick as a quarterback. And
oh, dude, you see what he's saying? Soakers, the Soakers, he got you.
I get in trouble if I go along with that.
100%.
Yeah.
He's smart.
But no, I'm going to go Liberty, but that's only if Malik Willis plays. If he doesn't play, I'm going for the other team.
Yeah, I don't think he's
so
going to
put an asterisk on it also.
Yeah, I'm going to circle this game also. If he plays, I'm going Liberty, just like you. If not, I'm going to switch it to Eastern Michigan. Okay, this one's kind of tricky. It's the how Jimmy Kimmel get a bowl. This is when you know you got money backing you. The Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl, which I thought he was in New York anyway, but I guess
he's in LA.
Okay, well, Utah State and Oregon State. Oregon State is -5.5 favorite Vegas odds on the spread, but 75% of these Bowl Mania guys are picking Utah State. And remember, we're picking spread. We're picking spread here.
Yeah. Wait, who's Utah State playing?
Oregon State.
Yeah, give me Utah State. They are a pretty decent team this year. And by the way, there's a little bit of a backstory in regards to how Jimmy Kimmel ended up with a bowl named after him. It's because he said a long time ago that it was his dream to have a bowl game named after him. And so it was gifted to him in a way.
Someone gifted.
So that's just that little FYI. That's how that worked out.
Well, this is his first time in a bowl game because I don't remember this last year.
No, it is first time.
Yeah, honestly, I like that matchup. I'm surprised LA didn't get a bigger, bigger teams, but you got a team from the Pac-12 which makes sense, and you got a Utah State team which has been doing really good things. They're 10-3 on the year, so
yeah, they're a good team.
No one wants to play them. Yeah, they're a good team. I got Utah State, not to just cover. I think they're gonna win. That's just me. Okay. Billy Napier's old team, Louisiana, the conference champs of the Sun Belt, playing Marshall. They're -6.5 favorites in the New Orleans Bowl. So they got to defend Louisiana.
I think Louisiana is going to win this ball game. Although I will say, according to Joey Ferguson on here, pick the opposite of me. You know what? You're not really wrong. I've had a horrible year on my picks. I've had a terrible year on my picks. It just hasn't been my year so far. So, hey, maybe go against what I'm picking, but at least for this one, go ahead and pick Louisiana.
Yeah, I'm picking Louisiana too, and he's right. You have done absolutely atrocious this year. I don't even want to bring up the spreadsheet. It's pretty bad, but
I'm gonna have to hit the reset button for next year. Yeah,
it's bowl season, and we're going into the new year, so you hit the reset button, like you said, and we'll do fine next year. All right, Myrtle Beach Bowl. Tulsa and Old Dominion. I always forget that the
Tulsa.
country. Yeah, I'm going Tulsa. I always forget that the country band has a college football team. I never pick Old Dominion. The only time I paid attention to them was when they upset Virginia Tech, and I was like, "Damn, Old Dominion's good this year." I think it was 2018. It was a pretty good game.
Yeah, I think that was when Taylor Heineke was their quarterback.
Yeah. So. Maybe Old Dominion's building a program there. They're bowl eligible, maybe for the third year in a row, I think. I'm trying to remember.
Good things.
They're doing good things. 6-6, they made it. So Joey, our co-host, was saying there was a lot of 6-6 teams, and so leading into the Florida State game, he was saying the loser is not going to get a bowl game, and he was right. The loser didn't get a bowl game. Too bad it was FSU for you guys. Sorry. Kent State and Wyoming in the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. Kent State's 7-6, Wyoming 6-6. Wyoming's -4.5 favorite.
Yeah, I love this bowl game too. It's the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, and the winner gets a whole sack of potatoes. Hell yeah! Imagine getting hit in the face with a potato. Getting knocked out cold. I'm gonna go. You said Kent State against Wyoming.
Yeah.
Give me Kent State. I think there's an upset there.
Mm-hmm. I got Wyoming in the straight-up one, but in the spread, I'm going to pick Kent State as well. 56% of them picked them. I'm going to go with that. I've seen a couple highlights from Kent State. I'm going to have to do a little bit more research on this, but,
who cares?
I'm just going to roll with it pretty much. Okay, your team, UTSA, 12-1. They are -2.5 favorites in the Frisco Bowl against San Diego State. Fun fact, David's getting married near San Diego.
I am getting married near San Diego. I'm actually getting married not too far away from San Diego State University. But I think San Diego State is just going to steamroll over UTSA. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's just say UTSA forces a stop. like San Diego State also has like the best punter in the entire nation, and who can just bomb the football and put UTSA in dangerous territory. So I think San Diego State should have this one. This is actually a pretty exciting bowl game in a way to watch. I think San Diego State should absolutely handle this one, though.
I got San Diego State too, but I'm surprised you're not rolling with UTSA and the Roadrunners the whole
I'm not.
way.
They lost, man. I unsubscribed from them now.
Unsubscribe from the email list and all. I'm tempted to go UTSA just because you did that, but I'm not. I think San Diego State's the better team. Okay. So Army, coming off a loss to Navy. We're here in Pensacola. It's a Navy town. Go Navy. And the Armed Forces Bowl is taking on Missouri, and they are -3.5 favorites. I'm picking Missouri. I'm picking Missouri here. They're an underdog, and Vegas and the fans are picking Army to win too. I think Missouri's played better competition all year.
Yeah,
So
I'm taking Mizzou in this one also. Like, give me the points. I think that they're just going to move the ball a lot easier. Now, one thing I think Missouri will struggle with is that option. I think a part of me thinks this has the potential to hit the over. So I'm taking the over, and I'm taking Mizzou.
I think that's a good analysis there. Just because of the triple option, if you're not playing disciplined football and you're not playing assignment football, you're gonna miss tackles. And Army's got a very, very fast quarterback, very, very fast guy at quarterback. So you got to be able to contain him. And the thing about it is, if you have a long time to prepare for the triple option, you know what's coming at you. You just got to replicate the speed of it somehow.
Yeah.
And so if Missouri can do that in practice, I think they can win the game. I think they can. North Texas and Miami of Ohio.
Who cares?
In the Frisco Football Classic. Wait, didn't we got multiple Frisco Bowls apparently.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, give me North Texas.
Miami of Ohio is -3.5 favorite. 65% of people. Yeah, I'm going North Texas. Miami of Ohio, you're the fake Miami. I'm just going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you that again. But I do recall Joey saying that Miami of Ohio was doing pretty good this year.
I have not paid attention. So I'm going to go with North Texas like I originally said, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. All right. This one's for us, Davis, in the Gasparilla Bowl, which is pretty cool. It's right there in Tampa in Florida. UCF doesn't have to travel that far. Florida doesn't have to travel that far. Florida's -6.5 point favorites over UCF. And 59% of people have switched. It was 50-50, and now 59% of people are picking UCF in the spread.
Yeah, what's the spread again?
6.5, -6.5 for Florida.
Oh, yeah, give me UCF. I think Florida can win the ball game, though. It's going to be ugly. Just want this year to be over, basically. But give me UCF to cover.
I'm going to be biased here. I'm going to pick Florida because of the way they played against FSU. If they play that way against UCF with Emory Jones, if Emory Jones has a good game, then I think they can win. Depending on how many players actually play, because last year Florida had 22 players. Most of those starters sit out in a New Year's Six Bowl against Oklahoma. So no telling who's going to play in this game. It might be one of those throwaway games, but go Gators. Hope we win. All right, Hawaii Bowl. Memphis traveling all the way to Hawaii. Hawaii defending its home. So are you bummed out that every year Hawaii gets an invitation to their own stadium to play in a bowl game?
You know, you'd think Hawaii would be bummed out, but maybe just from a logistics standpoint, they don't have to travel that far. And for the other team, it's like, this is a vacation. Like, we're going to Hawaii. Yeah,
that is true. I think Memphis gets the win here, but watch out for Hawaii. I think they could pull something out. It's -4.5 for Memphis, so I'm going with them.
Yeah, I think that Memphis is going to win this ball game. They're a decent team. Memphis has had a pretty decent team the last couple of years, so give me Memphis.
Georgia State and Ball State in the Camino Bowl. And once again,
Who cares?
I'm just gonna throw a pick out here. I'm gonna go. You got to throw an underdog pick every now and then. I think I'm gonna go Ball State here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Georgia State.
Yeah, Georgia State's the better team. I know they are, but you gotta be strategic about how you do this because you're not gonna win them all. You know you're not gonna win them all. If you go with your gut, 100%.
At least we know one of us will be right.
Yeah. All right, the Quick Lane Bowl, Western Michigan and Nevada. Nevada's -6.5.
Yeah, give me Nevada. They're a good team this year.
Yeah.
Their quarterback, although he's not the starting quarterback, one of their quarterbacks is apparently almost 7 feet tall.
I saw that. He's absolutely massive.
But he's not the starter. The other guy who's the starter is like 6'1".
Yeah.
Which if I'm almost 7 feet tall and I'm a football player, you're going to be a tight end.
Or wide receiver. Yeah.
Yeah, or wide receiver.
Pretty skinny.
You're going to be catching the football.
Right. Yeah, you're jumping.
No one can defend you.
This one's kind of fun. I'm surprised. Well, I guess I'm not surprised it's not a bigger bowl, but I'm surprised Houston is in this bowl. It's the Birmingham Bowl. Houston and Auburn. Auburn's -1.5 point favorites here. I'm going Houston. I think Houston's going to win the game.
Yeah, Houston is a pretty good team, but they're like a 2-loss team.
Yeah, 11-2.
Give me Auburn. I think Auburn's going to finish the year strong.
Nice. That'll be good. That'll be a fun one. All right, the First Responder Bowl, Air Force, the best of all the. Well, let me see. Yep, Army's 8-4. Yep, the best out of all the military schools is playing Louisville in the First Responder Bowl.
That was a tough one. Louisville.
They're -1.5.
Spurts of success. I'm gonna go Louisville in this one.
Louisville's -1.5. I'm going Air Force. I've not fallen for the Joey Clark Louisville picks all year long, and it's done me good. I'm going Air Force to finish the year off. This one's kind of fun. The Liberty Bowl, for you libertarians out there listening, because I know the Swamp Preachers started that way. So the Liberty Bowl, Mike Leach, -9.5 point favorites with Mississippi State over Texas Tech.
Oh yeah, this is interesting. Coaching against one of his former teams, he had really good success at Texas Tech. But I think give me that point spread is really high. You know what? Give me Mississippi State. They're going to score a lot of points. They're going to put up a lot of yards.
Yeah, that's right.
I thought this was
wait, sorry. I'm going to make this a lock. I'm locking this one in.
Dude, you know what? I never even thought about locking stuff.
I didn't even think about it till just now, but I'm locking this one in because I think Texas Tech can't really put up that many points, and Mike Leach and Mississippi State do have the power to put up that many points. So feel free to like look back and lock one up if you want, but I'm starting now with mine. Holiday Bowl, UCLA and NC State. NC State's -3.5 point favorites. 62% of people picked them with the points.
Yeah, NC State's going to win this ball game. They're a good team.
I'll
lock that one in. Why not?
You want to lock that one? There you go.
Got to use them.
I'm going UCLA tentatively. Not going to lock anything in. Not going to do it. Can't pay me to lock this one in. All right. Guaranteed Rate Bowl. Minnesota -6.5 point favorites over West Virginia Mountaineers. Yeah.
I think I like Minnesota in this game. Although, I think they're going to win because of their defense.
I like Minnesota in this game too. I'm just going to peek down at some of these other games. I'm going to save my lock. I'm going to save my locks. But I like Minnesota here. West Virginia is a good team, though. I think it's going to be a good game to watch. It's going to be a fun game to watch. These teams, I don't think, ever get to play each other. I don't know if they've ever played each other. Maybe they have. Maybe they haven't. But, yeah. So, you're going Minnesota. I'm going Minnesota. The Fenway Bowl SMU is minus 1.5 point favorites over Virginia, and Ole Armstrong.
I'm going to go SMU here. They're a high-scoring team. They win football games. Virginia Tech also can score.
Virginia.
They have a good young quarterback at Brandon Armstrong.
Yeah.
I'm going to go SMU, though.
I'm going to have to look at the schedules. I'm picking the upset here. I'm going Virginia. Because it's bowl season, and I got a feeling about it. I'm not on the Pony Express. That's bitten me too many times, and just not gonna do it. Joey, we'll get to the playoffs, and then we'll get to your question. I'll post it up in the chat. I'll post it so Davis can think about it for a second. Side question: since kids can get paid, should they also be subject to fines for skipping bowl games or entering the portal? Yeah, I'll think about an answer, and we'll get to that. In once we get to the playoffs. A good transition. Okay, old ACC matchup here: the Pinstripe Bowl with Maryland and Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech's minus 2.5 point favorites. Bronco Mendenhall's out. I'm going Maryland here. They're the underdogs. I like Tulia Tagovailoa.
Yeah. I think I like Maryland here also. I mean, these two teams are pretty equal if you think about it. So I like Maryland.
Yeah, I think so too. Virginia Tech just disappointed me whenever I bet on them. I think bet on them against Notre Dame, they bit me in the butt. So I haven't been paying too close attention to Maryland, but I'm gonna have to look at it. I got Maryland right now. The Cheez-It Bowl, Clemson and Iowa State. Iowa State minus 1.5 point favorites. I got Clemson. Clemson's been on a roll. This is 74% people are picking Clemson, even though they're the underdog. It's only minus 1.5. I think that's why.
Yeah, and it's I believe it's being played in the stadium where Clemson last won their national championship. So, give me Clemson.
What stadium? Clemson.
I think it's Levi Stadium.
In California? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Players familiar with the territory. Iowa State players not so much. I think it's going to be a good game, though. It'll be a fun game to watch, to see Purdy and that offense try and go against DJ Ucla in the Clemson. Did I just murder his name, or did I do it?
DJ Ucla.
We haven't been talking about it as much as we thought we were because they lost 3 games, so they're out of the playoffs.
Yeah, we haven't had to talk about them near as much.
But I like Clemson in this game. I think they're on a roll. Also like that Brent Venables went to Oklahoma, so Clemson's going to have to fill that spot somehow during the bowl game.
Yeah, big hits their defense.
Yep. Okay. Oh, wait. I'm locking this one in. This is my second
give me
lock.
that lock. Let me lock it in too.
Yeah, you're locking in both on Clemson. We just both locked in. You used, was that your third lock? Was that your
That's
second
my
lock? Second lock? That's my second lock too. All right. Alamo Bowl. Remember the Alamo. Oregon and Oklahoma. Oklahoma's picked 55%. They're minus 6.5 point favorites. I think that's accurate. I'm going Oklahoma too.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna go Oregon in this one. I think there's an upset there.
Ooh, okay. Oregon's mad at the 2 losses to Utah. Mad they didn't get that Pac-12 championship. Mad they're not in the playoffs. So you think they're coming out with a vengeance? Okay, that's fine. I think Oklahoma's on the same page though. They're mad they didn't get it. They lost to Oklahoma State. They didn't get a shot at the Big 12 championship. I think they're 2 teams who are right there, but just didn't get it. And so this is gonna be a good matchup for players who want to prove themselves, prove to themselves that they belong in the college football playoff talk or even the conference championship talk. So I think 9 times out of 10, Oklahoma plays Oklahoma State, it's 50-50 who wins. Oregon, we saw that 2 out of 2 times they lost to Utah, so that's why I went Oklahoma there. Duke's Mayo Bowl, this is kind of cool. North Carolina versus South Carolina. North Carolina's minus 5.5 point favorites over South Carolina.
I'm gonna go North Carolina. But put an asterisk next to this one too. That's if Sam Howell plays.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he commits to the NFL draft, which they have him projected to still be a first-round pick, then there's no way he's playing this bowl game.
So, regardless, if Sam Howell plays or not, I'm going South Carolina. Just feeling it. I'm just feeling it. Music City Bowl, Tennessee and Purdue. Purdue's
I love this game.
2.5 point favorite.
Get that lock button ready because I'm locking in Tennessee. I think Josh Heupel has done a phenomenal job this year with his quarterbacks, with his team in general. Hinden Hooker, transfer out of Virginia Tech. He has done a phenomenal job at the quarterback position. I actually think in the future, Hinden Hooker is going to be a first-round draft pick at quarterback.
Nice, a good call.
I think he has great size. He has great arm strength. He releases the ball quickly. I think that this is a guy that people are going to be talking about moving forward.
Sorry, that was a premature lock. There you go. I'll lock it up for you again twice. I'm going Tennessee too. I agree with everything you said. Purdue showed glimpses of being good. They had that upset against Michigan State. I'm not going to consider that too much into this. I think Tennessee's playing good ball right now. So I'm going Tennessee. They're the underdog. You got to pick some underdog picks in this bowl mania if you want to get anywhere. All right, this is a cool game and a cool setting. In Atlanta, in the Peach Bowl, we got Pittsburgh and the Kenny Pickett's against Michigan State, who's also had a really good year. Both teams only lost 2 games. Pittsburgh's minus 3.5 point favorites, but only 37% of people are picking them against the spread.
Yeah, I'm going to go Pittsburgh. This is a big game for them.
Yeah, I'm going to lock in Pittsburgh as well. I love Kenny Pickett. They made a whole new rule called the Pickett rule now. So they made a whole new rule because of this kid. I think he's a great quarterback. I think he'll be able to get past that pesky Michigan State defense. Las Vegas Bowl, Wisconsin, Arizona State. I'm going to go Arizona State just because.
Yeah.
I think Wisconsin is the favorite. They're minus 6.5 favorites. 73% of people picking them. I'm going Arizona State regardless.
I'm gonna go. What was the other team's name? Not Arizona State. Wisconsin. I'm going Wisconsin. They have had a really good rebound. They started the season rough. They've played pretty good since. They're running the ball more. They were throwing the ball a lot, and that was hurting them. They started adding a little bit more tempo in the run game. That's when the consistencies really started showing. So I'm going to go with Wisconsin in this one.
Yep, and I might change this one, but right now I'm just feeling Arizona State because I agree with everything you said. They started picking up towards the end of the season, but then they dropped the ball there late. I think teams kind of figured out how to stop that run. This one's a good one. A lot of people are picking the upset. Texas A&M in the Gator Bowl versus Wake Forest. Texas A&M is 8-4. Wake Forest is 10-3. Wake Forest just came off that loss to Pittsburgh, and Texas A&M's minus 3.5 favorites.
By the way, speaking of Texas A&M, we did not mention Zach Calzada. He entered the transferred portal also.
Oh.
So I actually did not even think about that until you just mentioned Texas A&M. I don't know where the hell he'll go. But he played really, really well. He played really well. And he started the year as the backup, and he played extremely well. So he could go really to a lot of different places. But I like Wake Forest in this ball game. I like Wake Forest. I like Sam Hartman. This is going to be a pretty fun game. I think a lot of points could be scored. So give me Wake Forest.
Yeah, I just don't see Jimbo stomaching a loss to Wake Forest. I just don't see it happening just because of his old Florida State roots. I want to pick Texas A&M. Who's going to be their quarterback? Is it their starter from the beginning of the year?
I'm sorry, who?
Who's going to be Texas A&M starter? Do you know? Since
Well, it was Haynes. It
Calzada's
was
out.
Haynes King that started the year, and then he got hurt, and then that's when Zach Calzada came in, and again played well.
He did, yeah.
And they beat Alabama.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if they're looking at him coming back and being the starter again, but I'm gonna stick with Wake Forest.
I think I'm gonna go to Wake Forest too for now, just because I'm unsure of the quarterback situation there. All right, moving on. Sun Bowl, Tony Tiger Sun Bowl, Washington State and Miami.
Let's go Miami. Miami's. I mentioned this on our last podcast on Tuesday. Tyler Van Dyke, he has passed for over 300 yards in each of the last 5 games. That's awesome. That's crazy statistics. That's a lot to look forward to going into next season, especially with a win in this ball game. Miami is a team to look out for, and I think they gained that momentum by winning this ball game.
I got Miami winning this game too. Not for nothing. I think they want momentum going into their new coaching season. I like Tyler Van Dyke as well as a quarterback. He's been slinging the rock. Next game, Arizona Bowl. The Jim McElwain and fighting Chippewas of Central Michigan facing Boise State. I never pick against Boise State in bowl games usually, so I'm going Boise State again, and that's just my rule of thumb.
Yeah. So this is the Barstool Sports Arizona Bowl.
I'm definitely watching this game.
You can imagine that this is going to be loaded with Barstool stuff. Though we get genuinely, Boise State is the better team. They're going to win the ball game for sure. I'd lock it in if I had a lock to give.
Yeah, and I mean, Davis, you didn't get to experience the show when we were just throwing out locks in. If you want to lock it in, lock it in. We just lock in everything now that we've made changes. Just lock everything in.
I'd lock it. Boise State.
Consider it locked. It's locked. And this is going to be a fun day for college football. So this is New Year's Eve. So you got the Wake Forest Texas A&M game, which we went over. You got the Miami game. You got this game, the Boise State Barstool game, which is just entertaining as a bowl game. And then you got your 2 playoff games. And before we get to the playoffs, we'll answer Joey's question because he threw it up here. I told him we would. My answer is sort of libertarian-esque in nature, I guess. I would say that it's whatever the contract says, right? The contract between the player and the school, the player and the agency, the player and the company doing the NIH deal or NIL deal. I think it would depend on that. And that's not a for sure. That's not there should be a punishment. There should not be. I think it's going to depend on the kid and the situation and what he does, right? So, and that's freedom of contract, right? That's what you can hope for if it's really players get to do what they want to do and they can have people negotiating for them. I think that's how it's going to be, and I would like that to be how it is. So
yeah, my answer to the question. No, you shouldn't fine them. I think that's just the landscape that we're in now, because these guys technically aren't professional athletes. They just have the ability to profit off their likeness. Since they're not professionals, you shouldn't fine them. So I don't agree with finding someone who's not a professional. Again, I understand the argument that they are making money. They're probably making more money than some actual professional athletes, but since they're not professionals, I don't think you can fine them in that sort of way. So no, and I wouldn't agree with it. I think that these guys have the right to decide their future. They don't have a contract that says that they are bound to this school. They don't have to play football there.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't think most contracts would say that, because when you're signing the name, image, and likeness, I think you're attaching the value to the player himself, no matter what school he goes to, right? Like Travis Hunter, he's valuable no matter where he goes, even if it's not a D1 school. So I'm on board with you there. I don't think they should be finding these people. I think the word professional now is kind of subjective. Obviously, professional football players are the real professionals here, but these guys are making money for playing football. That's the definition of professional. It just is. So
just to give you a heads up, my phone's dying. So
okay, that's fine. We're getting into these playoffs, so we'll wrap it up here shortly. So the first playoff game, Cincinnati and Alabama. I want to pick Cincinnati so bad. Alabama's minus 13.5. I think I'm gonna pick Cincinnati with the spread. I think they're gonna give it all they got.
Yeah,
and Alabama's beatable. They are.
This one's a tough one. It's one of those things where it's like the super hopeful side of me says, take Cincinnati. Then there's that side of, well, what if Cincinnati comes out hot? Like I was talking about on Tuesday, they come out hot. They just keep it going. They could make it really close, meaning that 13.5 would be really good if you take Cincinnati. I'm taking Cincinnati because I think that they're going to fight like hell. I think Alabama's going to win, also because I think Alabama may get knocked down, but they sure as hell know how to get back up. Mm-hmm. So I think they may get knocked down. They'll get back up. They'll win the ball game, but it's going to be a close game.
Yep, I agree with you. All right, same day at night, 6:30 p.m. Michigan and Georgia. Georgia's minus 7.5 point favorites. 62% of people picking Michigan with the spread here.
Look, I think that if we have the same Michigan team that showed up and took on Ohio State, if that same team shows up, they can win this football game. Because Alabama's defense made life hell for Stetson Bennett. Mm-hmm. And that same defense can do the same exact thing to Georgia.
Yeah,
I think Georgia is going to win the ball game, though. And also another prediction is I think that Georgia, if they get in trouble early, they're going to very quickly move away from Stetson Bennett, and they're going to go to JT Daniel at quarterback.
Might rattle him. Yeah,
I think it's going to happen quickly. Like not even like national championship what Alabama did with Tua taking out Jalen. I think that if in the first quarter Stetson Bennett struggles, they're going to move to Daniels and let him take over and see what happens. And that's if they're tied or possibly even winning by 3.
Wow.
If they're not doing what they are capable of, they're going to switch quarterbacks. And that's if they repeat what they did against Alabama.
That's a bold prediction. Maybe even transfer implications if it doesn't happen, right, for JT Daniels again.
Yeah.
I'm picking Michigan with the plus 7.5. I like them. I like them a lot. I like Georgia a lot, too. And I could be completely wrong about this, obviously. Georgia could come out and spank them. But like Dave was saying, if Michigan comes out like they did against Ohio State, I got them. And I think they will. All right. Outback Bowl. You got Michigan, too. You said you got Michigan, too?
I do have. Well, in terms of points.
The points.
In terms of points, and I'm going to take Georgia.
Let's see.
I think I'm going to take Georgia.
He's sticking with Bennett. Yeah, that's what Magoo, that's what I thought too. But I think he's shown that he's sticking with Bennett. Even when they were losing the SEC championship game, he stuck with Bennett.
Yeah, but he could afford to do that. You lose that ball game, you're still making it into the playoffs. You lose this ball game, you're freaking out. So I think the mindset's a little bit different. He's not going to fool around with Bennett. If he's struggling, they're going to put in Daniels.
It's tough. I mean, it's tough. It's a tough situation to be in too. The stakes are high there, but we'll see. I think it's going to be a great game. I'm very excited for it. We'll move on. Penn State, Arkansas, in the Outback Bowl. Penn State's minus 4.5 point favorites. I'm going to Arkansas. I'm just feeling them. I think it's a pretty equal matchup here.
It is. I like Arkansas in this ball game too, mainly because I think the SEC normally plays really well in this bowl game, and also I think the last time Penn State played in this game, they lost to an SEC team. So yeah, or obviously because it's always Big Ten against SEC. Right. But last time Penn State played in this game, I think they lost. So I think they're going to lose again.
There you go. This is a fun game because one, it's the Fiesta Bowl. I always love the Fiesta Bowl. But two, it's kind of a game that we could have in the future. The 5 and 6 team playing to get in to the college football playoff. Now, Oklahoma State's not there anymore. They were 6 inches short of potentially getting into the playoff. Notre Dame's number 5. So read it how you want. This could be the 5 and 6 team playing to get into the college football playoff here. I'm going with Notre Dame. They're minus 2.5 point favorites here. I'll take a field goal.
Yeah, I'm going to take Notre Dame in this ball game. I'm taking Notre Dame. I think that they are a solid team. Definitely not a playoff-worthy team at this moment, but I think that they are a solid team. They're going to take on Oklahoma State. They're going to win this ball game.
All right, Citrus Bowl. We got Iowa and we got Kentucky.
Kentucky, yeah.
I'm going with Kentucky. Iowa's been playing shit ball lately.
I'm with you, Kentucky, most definitely.
Another
Kentucky, yeah.
and a lock. And a double lock. I'm just going to lock it up for you. I know you want to. It's minus 1.5. I got Kentucky all day. Rose Bowl game. This is a cool game. All red. Utah and Ohio State. Utah plus 7.5 underdogs. I'm going Utah. I told you guys on Tuesday I was going Utah. I've made up my mind. I'm doing it. I don't care what you say, Lazon. Utah's going to win this game.
Yeah, I completely disagree with you. I'm going to go Ohio State. I think they're going to rebound after their loss against Michigan. Now, this Utah team, no disrespect to them, they are a very talented team. They're Pac-10 champions for a reason, Pac-12 champions for a reason. But I think Ohio State plays really well in the Rose Bowl. Something about the Rose Bowl clicks for Ohio State. They love the game. They're going to win the game.
Utah's first Rose Bowl, by the way. I'm putting that out there. First Rose Bowl. Can't ruin that. Your first Rose Bowl can't be a loss.
Hey, well then you know what? Like, hopefully I'm proved wrong. And based on how I've done this year, I probably will get proved wrong.
Everyone's going with Ohio State. I just like the upset here. I like the matchup with Utah's defense. All right,
you know what I want for Christmas? I want Cincinnati to win over Alabama. Imagine Cincinnati being in the national championship.
I'd love it. So Sugar Bowl. Baylor and Ole Miss. Baylor, Big 12 champions, not favorite in this game. Ole Miss is favorite, minus 2.5 right now.
This is a good one.
This is a good one.
I think that this whatever the over is, take the over. Matt Corral, is he going to play in this game?
I don't know.
Because he already committed to the draft. He's going to be a first-round pick. I think he may want to play with it. I think he may play in this ball game. Oh, wait, no, I don't think he is. I think he said he's done after the regular season.
Well, I mean, if Matt Corral's not playing, I'm going Baylor.
Look, I'm going to go Baylor. I'm going Baylor. Although I also think that it doesn't really matter who Ole Miss has a quarterback. I think Lane Kiffin's done a really good job with this football team no matter what. Mm-hmm. But give me Baylor. I don't think Matt Corral's playing in this game, but give me Baylor.
All right, and this is kind of sad to wrap up the bowl games. We got one more pick after this, but LSU and Kansas State in the Texas Bowl.
Give me LSU.
I'll take LSU too. Let's go SEC. Maybe boost the stats a little bit. All right, now who is going to win the national championship overall? It's going to be the winner of Alabama, Cincinnati. It's going to be a winner of Michigan and Georgia.
I think winner of Alabama, Cincinnati.
And this is what if Cincinnati does beat? If Cincinnati beats Alabama, they get to face either Georgia or Michigan. Georgia, they should have beat last year. Shoulda, coulda, woulda by a field goal. So I think they can do it. I'm gonna take out the winner of Alabama, Cincinnati as well.
Hey, come over. I'm gonna go. Yeah, I just think that Alabama is going to win at the right time. I hate thinking that way. I hate thinking that way just because I do want them to lose. But I think they're winning at the right time. They know how to win in these kinds of situations. It makes me almost sick to my stomach thinking about it. I think Alabama could win it all. And damn it, I don't like saying that out loud.
Yeah. breaks my heart. Magoo in the chat, you'll be happy. Joey Ferguson says Georgia for the win. Georgia could come out motivated. I think Georgia is the best team out of all these teams, but it doesn't help you if you get behind in a game and your offense isn't built to score points quickly against an Alabama or a Michigan. It doesn't really help you. So you gotta control the game from the very beginning.
Yeah,
that's how Georgia wins. They control the time of possession. They run the ball down your throat and they play defense. That's what it is. With that, I think that wraps it up.
I think it does.
Yeah, his phone's about to die. That was a great show. Went through all the bowls. I got another bowl pick.
Knocked it all out.
Yeah, hopefully I win $1 million on this Bowl Mania. Like I said, if you want to join us on the Bowl Mania, go to your ESPN Fantasy app and do Capital One Bowl Mania, and then search College Football Extravaganza. You can join us, and you'll get bragging rights. We'll shout you out on the show. We'll shout you out anyway in the chat, but we'll shout you out on the show more. And as we progress, maybe we get a lot of people in. Who knows? Might be able to give out prizes and stuff eventually. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. This has been the premiere on the Swamp Network. So kind of shitting on the Gators a little bit, kind of taking their advice. But I mean, it might be a good thing. Maybe it's a good marketing thing. But yeah, go follow us at College Football Extravaganza. We usually do weekly podcasts within the season, and we'll try and get some recruiting podcasts in the off season and some different things going for you guys. But we live busy lives. Davis has got a wedding to plan.
And a honeymoon now.
Nice.
Going to Italy.
Any shout outs? Any plugs you want to give?
Shout out to this guy playing guitar really loud at my apartment complex. You can probably hear him.
I can't hear it. I got the Christmas music playing, so it's fine. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I already plugged everything on here, so you're already following all the networks. Thank you guys. Thank you, Joey. You're always in the chat. Love it. Thanks, Magoo, for hopping in the chat. Thanks, D. Everyone, you guys have a good one. Honeymoon is the important part. That's
Hell
a good
yeah,
one
it is.
Yeah, it is.
Going to Italy, baby.
I'd spend more money on the honeymoon than the wedding if it were up to me. Going to Italy? Ooh, nice.
Oh yeah,
All right,
going big.
we're in the stream.